Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to make a quick video. Hopefully it's not too long, but I wanted to go over Bitcoin. There's been a lot going on with Bitcoin recently, so I thought I'd take a look at a chart, drop some lines, show you guys some levels that I find confluence and support and resistance at, and show you what I kind of see happening here. So let's take a look here. If you've been watching Bitcoin recently, it's dropped from the 10,000 psychological level, and it's down right now at, we'll call it 8,200. It's at 8,215. We can see here. So, and it has been ranging for a while here, mostly down in here right now. One of the things that a lot of speculation going around is that it was filling the gap in the CBOE futures that recently expired, and that's what that was in this big drop that we saw. If we go back here a little bit, we can see that it's been dropping for a minute. Once it broke through that 10,000 level, it dropped hard, tried to come back up and retest it, and it just couldn't do it. And so we saw here it just kept on coming down to where we currently sit. So let's take a look at the daily chart here. With Bitcoin, it's a little more volatile, as we all probably know. So it's a little different. There's a lot more new zones or supply demand areas that are created, more frequently, especially if you go down to the smaller time frames. So what I've done here, I got a few lines that I've already put together, already drawn up. I'll just kind of explain to you here what we've got going on and why I've chose these areas. So as far as support looking that we're looking at here is going to be down here in this area between the 75.33 and 71.72.05, I guess, area. The reason that I've got these where they are, if you look over here, I've got a fully engulfing green candle here. Okay, so whenever price is coming down, I'm looking for an area closest to price where there's a fully engulfing green candle. That tells me that that is a supply zone, and that's where people are going to be looking to buy again. There's going to be possibly even existing buy orders sitting down there. So I go from the bottom. Now there's not much of a, we can zoom in a little bit more. There's not much of a wick here on this candle. It's basically very little to none. There is a little bit, but not much. So I usually go to the top of the candle here, or a lot of times I'll go right here. Either way, I mean, I could bring it down a little bit. It's, not going to make a whole lot of difference. I do like it where it's at right there, because if we go to the right here a little bit, we can see where that confluence is. It's obeyed that as a support area. Once it broke up through here, previously that was resistance. It hit that area, dropped down, then it finally came up through and broke it, came back down to retest it, where did it retest? If we look here, speaking of engulfing candles, and if it's coming down, what do we look for again? Well, we look left here and we see that there's another fully engulfing green candle, obviously the one that broke the zone, and that's exactly where it came down to right there. It tested and it decided that it was going to continue to go up. So then, as far as creating my resistance zone, we did the same thing, just in the opposite. So as the market's going up, as Bitcoin's going back up, we're looking at this fully engulfing red candle, the closest one to price, which is this one right here. And so we've got those two lines drawn up. Now I'll drop down to an hourly. That's actually the time frame, regardless of Bitcoin or any other foreign exchange pair that I take a look at. Typically, I like to make my entries off the hourly. So here we go. It took a second there to bring it up. So anyways, we're back over here on the hourly. We can see here our white lines that we created for resistance level for the on the daily. And as we can see on the hourly, it dropped down to that zone. It wicked up back in there, and it kind of stayed in there for a minute before it ended up dropping back down, trying to come back up and retest it, and then decided it was going to continue back down. Which is, if we look here, this is interesting. This kind of just gives you another confirmation, a confluence that you're on the right path, I guess. At least in my opinion, this is how I look at the charts, and this is how I determine what the market's trying to tell me it's going to do. So, these white lines, as we know, we made off the daily, but here we can see on the hourly. Here's another fully engulfing red candle on a green candle, which that white line lines up perfectly with. We didn't even know that. We were just making the daily, plotting out the daily support and resistance areas. But look at that. It lines up perfectly right there with the fully engulfing right there. Now we could adjust lines. We could bring this down here. I'm not going to do that because technically, in all reality, this is what I mean by going down to a smaller time frame. You're going to find other areas, small areas. But this is what I would call probably the origin of the move, is right here. Because if we look over to the right, it's being obeyed by this candle. So when it dropped down, it fully engulfed that green candle, came back up, it tested the wick of that green candle right there, went a little bit of stop loss hunt, a little bit above it there. But then when it ultimately decided it was going back down, and it was going to come back down, it came down to here, and it was coming back up to retest. What did it retest? It retested the bottom of that green candle that was previously fully engulfed over here at the origin of the move. Okay, that's how I look at that. So anyways, the reason I've got this yellow line now is this is how I kind of break it down. As I zoom in on where I'm going to place my entries on the market and kind of look at other areas of where a pivot point or it might be turning around for me. So here, obviously, we've gone over this. It's ranging right now, so there's not any trades I'm willing to put in at this point. It's not telling me enough. I mean, there is this. So this yellow line, obviously, we've got it here. It's right there. Where we got this fully engulfing green candle because the market comes down. That's going to be the closest area on a smaller time frame, at least. That it's obviously obeying that area. It's hitting that yellow line and it is staying above that. And so until it actually comes below this and then tries to come back and retest, which would probably be the bottom of this wick right here, this red one that I'm, I go off the bottom of the or the top, if you got the fully engulfing green, as you can see the top there. And which, interesting enough, that white line lines up from the daily there as well. Sorry to get off track, but yeah. So anyways, what we're looking at here, I see the market eventually heading back up. I got some indicators down here. You're probably wanting to know what those are all about. That's not the video. This isn't the video for that. I do use that to determine things, but this is just kind of giving you an idea of where I see the market. Right now, it's really, you've got, these lines, the yellow one's a 13, the red one's a 21, and the orange one is a 50 moving average, exponential moving average, EMA. So anyways, what I'm looking at here is I'm looking for it to break up this direction even further here soon. The reason I believe that is because based off of this, as we can see here, it came down to this area. I'm sure if we went left on a larger time frame or even on the hourly here, this would line up to the left somewhere on the chart with another fully engulfing candle somewhere to the left. But we're not going to do that. We're okay with where we're at. I don't like to go too far back because it's not necessary. We're trying to work with current conditions, what's going on most recently. That's what kind of higher time frames are for, is to look at the bigger picture like we did already earlier. If we zoom out a little bit, you can start to see my white lines down here from the support that we created on the daily, as opposed to the resistance here that we can already see without zooming out. So anyways, because this is respecting this area so strongly right now, and you've got this candle right here, this is something I like to watch for because this is a shooting star. In my opinion, this is something that tells me we're looking to shoot up this direction here very soon. And if you look at the top of that, this actually lines up pretty close over here to this fully engulfing candle on this green candle here. This red bearish candle lines up almost exactly where that wick came up to before dropping down. So even though we've got a red candle forming right now, I'm led to be more biased to believe that this is heading back up, that this is working on turning back into a bullish market, and now our CVOE futures gap has been filled. I know there's maybe a lot of talk like, are we going to see Bitcoin go down to $4,000? I don't think we'll see it go down that far, but I don't know. You know, like I said, we wait for certain conditions in the market. We wait for certain set of rules to be met in conditions before we place a trade. So right now where it's at, we're not placing a trade. You know, I want to see it come up here and actually break through here, and then retest, and then continue up. Then that'll tell me, obviously that's a 200 EMA right there, the blue line. That's gonna tell me that we are in a strong continuation of a bullish trend. Now, if you wanted to be a little bit more risky, I do sometimes do this. Now, this isn't, I don't recommend you doing anything you don't feel comfortable with. Trading is definitely a risky thing. You know, you can lose money at trading very easily if you don't know what you're doing. So trade at your own risk, I guess, is what I'm saying basically. Don't make decisions just because you watched one of my videos and I did it, or I said that I sometimes do it, and make a decision, and then it goes bad for you, and then try to come back and blame me. So anything I make in my videos is just how I see the market. It's not a recommendation. It's not a suggestion. It's simply for educational purposes. So I want to make that very clear right now. So anyways, if you wanted to, you could put in a buy order here, or wait till it comes back down here. Wait till it comes back down here again. Look for a fully engulfing candle. I mean, right here, there's a fully engulfing candle, just barely, but there is a little bit of a fully engulfing candle right there on that red one. So, it could come right down to there. Not maybe not, like these ones didn't touch the yellow line. It came down to that area, that red, fully engulfed red candle, even though it's not much. It's not a strong move, but none of them are in here right now because we're going sideways. We're consolidating after that huge drop we had here recently. So anyways, you could put in a buy order anywhere in here and set your stop loss down for right around this area and take profit at whatever you want. Bitcoin moves kind of fast. Maybe 100 pips is good. I mean, it's totally up to you. It's a personal decision. Like I said, I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to do it. So, but this is kind of how I'm seeing Bitcoin right now. I don't have any trades on it currently, but I am watching it, because as soon as it gives me a little bit stronger confirmation that it's going one way or the other, then I'll pull the trigger. So keep watching. I'll go over in some other videos some of these other indicators I use that you see here, and how I use moving averages to make determinations on what's going on. I mean, a lot of you probably maybe, if you have a little bit of trading knowledge, you know that if it's below a 200 moving average or exponential moving average, in my case, the blue line, it's a downtrend. If it's above it, it's an uptrend. So keep that in mind when making your trading decisions and developing your trading plan, and how you decide to confirm when and where you're going to place your trades. So yeah, I think that kind of covers it. If anybody has questions, please leave questions in the comments. If there's any videos you'd like to see me make over particular content, or to go over, break down a particular currency pair, please feel free to leave those requests as well, and I will do my best to get around to all those requests and make videos and analysis, mark up some charts, and show everybody my take and how I see the that particular market going at that time. So We've got Sunday coming up tomorrow. Today's Saturday, so we've got another fresh week of Forex trading about to hit us. So I plan on making another video here possibly within the next day or two, going over at least UJ, the USD over JPY, because I have been following and trading that recently. So I'll probably continue to do that in the this next following week. So thanks guys for taking a second, checking out the video. Hope this kind of helped give you an idea of where Bitcoin could be potentially going and how I see the market and how I interpret what direction I see it going. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.